Job for me.
Okay, so welcome to this up session of the European Utility Week. So now we will discuss about the cellular IoT technology and to show that the cellular IoT technology is one of the technologies that you have to consider when you build a connected smart meter. And it is based on a grid project which was the mass deployment of cellular connected meters for the gas in Japan. So I will introduce myself, as I said. So my name is Christophe Lechel. I joined Altair Semiconductor 2 months ago only. But before that, I was a system architect for a major module maker company. And at that position, I was involved in this project to work closely with Altair Semiconductor and the Japanese carriers on the end-to-end solution for this smart meter. Just a few words about Altair Semiconductor, because I'm not sure that you know it. So Altair Semiconductor is a leading provider of cellular IoT chipset. So we develop chipset for Cat-M, narrowband IoT, and Cat1. We have shipped millions of devices which are deployed globally in all major operators. Altair exists for 14 years. And since 2016, so it is part of Sony and belongs to the Sony Semiconductor Solution business unit. So as part of Sony, so we deliver the best out of the two companies for the IoT segment. Our chipsets are targeting all IoT use cases and all IoT markets. And we put a special focus on IoT functionalities that are power, size, security, and functionality. Sorry. So let's move now to let's move on the Japan gas meter use case. So my presentation is divided in two parts. So I will first explain why you need for a new generation of smart meter in Japan, what were the key requirements of these smart meters, and why the cellular IoT technology has been selected for this project. In the second part, I will draw the main challenges that we faced during this project and how they have been addressed. I hope it will be for you a good opportunity to better understand how to address and what to pay attention to when building a cellular-based IoT device solution. So a very, very short history of the smart meter, the gas smart meter in Japan. So Japan was one, I will say, of the first country to deploy smart meter, as it started in 1983. And since this date, so these smart meters continuously evolve by integrating new technologies. And one of them was the communication interface in 1988. So you can see that connected smart meter in Japan is not new. But there are new features that request connectivity, and we saw that this morning. And there is one feature that has been requested and need to have a bidirectional communication. I will explain just after. So following the 2011 Great East Japan earthquake, the government asked the gas companies to improve energy security and mandated that up 100 million buildings and houses to be fit with a smart meter by 2020. The new features, the energy security enhancement requested by the government was the ability to shut down remotely the gas in case of tsunami or earthquake. So it is why we need to have the bidirectional communication. So to operate such a service, the end-to-end solution has to be reliable, meaning it shall be able to operate 7 days, 24 hours. And so whatever the radio condition, whatever the weather condition, and everywhere in the country, so indoor or outdoor. As I mentioned, the device shall be reachable in order to receive some remote command. So in general, a smart meter is off most of the time, except when he has to transmit some data. And between two transmissions, the power consumption is very low. But here, with this requirement, the device shall listen to the network continuously in order to receive this command. And this has a big impact on the power consumption. However, and it is the last requirement, the battery life of this product shall be more than 10 years. And there is no way so to change the battery capacity compared to the one used on the legacy product due to their prohibitive cost. So to sum up, three key requirements: reliability, real-time remote access, and 10 years battery life. And so, why cellular IoT technology? So while the rollout is government-led in Japan, individual companies have been granted the freedom to select the technologies they wanted to use. With cellular IoT solutions becoming more mature to enable mass market deployment, LTE is fast becoming the technology of choice of the Japanese providers. In fact, CAT-M and NB-IoT network are deployed nationally in Japan. So there is no need for someone to build a network coverage of non-licensed technology. And more than that, LTE network guarantees the service, which is not the case with technology based on ISM band. ISM band is like a zoo, so everywhere, everyone can operate on there, but nobody can say that at a time, this band will not be congested. And so from one point, so the network, and the other one, so the device. So CAT-M and NB-IoT devices are now available with the support of new features specified by the 3GPP regarding the low power mode. Altair chipset so was one of them, and it has been selected because it was the only one to be able to meet the battery life requirement. And finally, as a target date for this deployment was 2020, the cellular IoT solution was the best one. So to sum up, so cellular IoT network long-term deployment and reliability plus Altair chipset with a good low power mode, so made the cellular IoT technology the best choice for this project. Okay, but the road was not, I would say, so straightforward. So we had to face some major challenges. And so I will explain two of them. Sorry. So the first one is the network coverage. It is a radio solution. And okay, I said that network is available. CAT-M and NB-IoT network is available in Japan. But as you may know, so the network coverage may depend from a device point of view a lot depending on may vary, a lot depending on various factors. So the first one is that smart meter is by definition a stationary device. And so it can be positioned, located in a bad area coverage. And since it doesn't move, the coverage will still be bad. Secondly, so CAT-M and NB-IoT device has only one antenna, has limited bandwidth, and so it is more sensitive to coverage and interference compared to a broadband device. So it is not black and white, meaning that communication can be maintained, but it will have an impact on the power consumption. So the power consumption will increase, obviously, when the channel condition will become bad. And it is the second challenge and the most critical one, the power consumption. Predicting the power consumption of a device is very challenging. Why? Because we saw that just before, so network coverage may have an impact on the power consumption. But it is not the only factor. So what can affect the power consumption can be at the chipset level, at the module level. But one thing people tend to forget it is also affected by the network configuration. And so we found out that the network parameters have a great impact on the power consumption. And this might be due to the fact that the ecosystem is still premature. More than that, it may change over time between carriers depending on network configuration, on coverage, and also in the same carrier, because some carriers use different base station vendors, different base station software, so it can vary over time. This might be obvious, but the fact that the battery life was one of the most important KPI for this project, it has become a huge challenge. And so to address the challenges, Altair worked at the very earlier stage of the project with all the stakeholders, so the module makers, the carriers, the gas meter manufacturer, to define and implement the best solution. And in fact, it was one of the key of the success of this project. It was a collaboration between the different actors of the end-to-end solution. So this collaboration started with the definition of the solution. I will just give you one example of this collaboration. I said that the smart meter shall listen continuously to the network in order to receive command. So to achieve the power consumption requirement, the only way was to use the extended DLRX. Extended DLRX is a 3GPP feature that allows the device to listen to the network but at a lower frequency compared to a regular mobile phone. So lower frequency means lower power consumption, but it will increase the latency time response to a command, and it may require as well more resources in the network to buffer this command. So altogether, we committed that the best period for this particular project, was 22 seconds in order to achieve battery requirement. So the full solution has been designed like that, so to be very power efficient. And not only in the nominal case with good coverage, we have to manage all the corner cases. And to achieve that, we have to optimize each element of the chain to reduce power consumption. And so we did some optimization by tuning some network parameters, by improving our low power mode management in the chipset, by adapting, I will say, the module application or the smart meter application to the use case. And the last but not the least step was the testing. In order to validate the solution, so testing starting with a pilot of hundreds of units, and gradually with a deployment of hundreds of thousands of units in the field at different locations. Huge testing. 3-season testing, meaning 9 months testing, was needed to validate the power figures, the power consumption figures, to validate the reliability of the solution. And obviously, so during this 9 months testing, so we observe some issues. But thanks to the effort of all the stakeholders, so we were able to fix them, and it has enabled the mass deployment of the smart meters in Japan with this cellular IoT technology. So just to sum up this presentation, so all the component features are available to design an end-to-end solution based on cellular IoT technology. So the network is there, NB, CAT-M network with their reliability, with the long-term deployment, and on the other hand, some chipset with very low power mode. The second key takeaway is the ecosystem collaboration. As it is a complex ecosystem and quite new, the ecosystem is still not yet mature. but it is why for building a cellular IoT project, collaboration is very important. For that, selecting the best partners who have a good knowledge of the ecosystem and who are able to collaborate with each other to design and implement the right solution was key for this project. So solution plus collaboration makes cellular IoT technology a success for smart gas meter in Japan. So why not for your project, whether it is gas, heat or water meter? So thanks a lot for your attention, and if you want more information, you can visit our website, so alter-semi.com. You will find some contact information and we will be happy to help you in your project. Thank you.